through 75 counties and hundreds of investigations, from the most violent crimes to petty infractions. This is Arkansas Crime Watch with Kevin Kelly.
28-year-old Quake Llewellyn, the man accused of killing 25-year-old Sydney Sutherland, in court for the very first time. Good evening and thanks for watching Arkansas Crime Watch on Fox16.com. I'm Kevin Kelly. Llewellyn was arrested August 21st and booked into the county jail just 2 days after Sutherland was reported missing after she went for a jog. Mitch McCoy in the courtroom for the proceeding and talking with attorneys about the case.
All eyes are on the Jackson County Courthouse Monday as 28-year-old Quake Llewellyn sees the inside of a courtroom for the first time.
Do you have anything to say? Did you kill Sydney Sutherland?
Llewellyn, wearing a bulletproof vest, answered no questions, walking side by side with Arkansas State troopers. Inside the courtroom, state police testified that Llewellyn was driving on County Road 41 and saw 25-year-old Sydney Sutherland walking. Investigators say he turned around, abducted her, and put her in the back of his pickup truck and sexually assaulted her. State police saying Llewellyn then buried the body on a farm. Jackson County prosecutor Henry Boy says a cause of death has not been confirmed.
We haven't even had the opportunity to review all the evidence that's been gathered. The crime lab autopsy results have not come back.
Boy says he has not ruled out pursuing the death penalty.
Capital murder only carries two punishments. That's life without and death. And at this point, both are still on the table.
The family of Sydney Sutherland packed the courtroom. Very emotional, as one might imagine. The prosecutor says he is committed to pursuing justice for Sutherland.
I look forward to preparing the case, filing formal charges, and then pursuing the case to its conclusion, either by trial, by jury, or otherwise.
Llewellyn is being held without bond and is scheduled to be back in court again on October 1st. Little Rock police busy investigating two separate shootings and a homicide. According to authorities, the body of 64-year-old Larry McChristian was found on August 24th in the 2200 block of South Gaines Street. When authorities arrived, they found his body lying in the front yard of a home with what they called apparent trauma to his body. McChristian was reported missing by UAMS police on August 22nd. His body has been sent to the state crime lab to determine how he died. Little Rock police also investigating a shooting in which a man was shot in the neck. It happened August 24th along the 1900 block of Wright Avenue. The victim telling police while he was pumping gas, he walked across the parking lot toward the store and heard a gunshot. He ran and didn't realize he had been shot in the neck. According to the report, the victim said a stranger picked him up and took him to the hospital. The victim's injuries are not life-threatening. Police in Conway investigating a shooting that left two women injured. It happened August 23rd at the Edge apartment on South Donahue Avenue. The two 21-year-olds told detectives they were in the parking lot when shots were fired. Both ended up getting hit. According to police, a man with dreads wearing a white shirt and acid-washed jeans was seen running from that location with a gun. The victims are expected to recover. If you can help with the investigation, call Conway Police. The Cabot Police Department releases the name of an officer involved in a fatal shooting. Officer Sylvester Starks is now on paid administrative leave. Authorities say the 4-year veteran pulled over Jeffrey Ratton during a traffic stop on August 20th. Ratton was the subject of a be on the lookout for law enforcement after his family notified police concerned about his well-being. Police say when Ratton was pulled over, he reached for a gun and then got out of his truck holding the weapon. Police say he was shot after Officer Starks repeatedly asked him to put the gun down. Ratton died at the hospital. In tonight's crime report, two suspects are now behind bars in connection to shooting a Little Rock police officer. The incident happening August 22nd along the 4500 block of Rosswood Road in southwest Little Rock. Police arrested 19-year-old Jaden Lee and 19-year-old Tashawn Landers in connection to the shooting. Both men are being held in the Pulaski County Jail and face charges of aggravated assault, unlawful discharge of a firearm, and battery in the first degree. Bond is set at $1 million each. Alexis Wainwright explains what happened that night of the shooting and brings us up to speed on the investigation and the condition of the officer who was shot.
The vehicle came from this direction and went around through the neighborhood, and they was firing off rounds.
Pastor Eugene Udell says after he got home, he couldn't help but hear
At least, about 10 rounds.
And he wasn't the only one.
We were about
to eat last night, and we heard about 5 or 6 bullet shots.
Blue lights lit Doyle Springs Road and Rosswood Drive Saturday night. Police say Officer Christopher Crowder was following up on a shooting that happened Friday night. Saturday, just before 10 p.m. when Officer Crowder was on scene, another drive-by shooting happened. According to Little Rock Police, Officer Crowder was shot twice in the leg and rushed to the hospital.
12?
More than 15 hours later, detectives were still out working. LRPD says Officer Crowder is at home recovering.
I spoke with him on the phone earlier. He's in high spirits. He wants to extend his thanks and his family's thanks to everybody in Little Rock who've reached out.
Sunday, neighbors say they're in shock this all happened so close to home.
This is a nice neighborhood. We've never had any incidents like this before, anything like this since I've been here. And I've been staying here almost 30 years.
As Alexis mentioned, Officer Crowder was treated for his injuries. He's now back at home recovering. He's a 2-year veteran of the department and has 7 years of experience in law enforcement. 5 people are now behind bars in connection to the death of a missing man. 20-year-old Christopher Jennings was reported missing on August 20th. 2 days later, Hot Springs police found his body in Pope County. On August 26th, the police announced they had arrested 5 individuals in connection to Jennings' death. All 5 have been charged with manslaughter, tampering with physical evidence, abuse of a corpse, theft by receiving, firearm, and terroristic threatening. All 5 were taken to the Garland County Detention Center. The investigation remains ongoing. Shots fired, all caught on camera in the parking lot of a local gas station in Pine Bluff. The incident taking place in the early morning hours of August 24th, where a large group had gathered. When the smoke in the scene cleared, 7 people had been shot, and so far, no one has been arrested. Our Alexis Wainwright takes a closer look at the cell phone video that captured what happened.
This video shows the moments where gunshots sound like rapid fireworks.
I was so shocked to find out so many people got shot behind them.
Sandra Terry is one of the many I talked to on Monday. She says she's shocked. Police say 7 people were shot around 3 a.m. Sunday.
There was a wet spot of blood right by the entrance by the door. And then there was a lady's shoes right there by the door. I didn't know exactly what was going on.
Terry says she ran to the store just for a quick errand and just missed the shooting. This all happened on West 28th Street at the Exxon gas station. Police say a witness says there was a large crowd in the parking lot and loud yelling soon turned into gunshots. Monday, you can see bullet holes like this one here on the wall at Wendy's. There's another one right over here. Now, these are scattered from this area all the way to the gas station over here. We talked with one native who says this has become a hot spot for people to hang out.
On Saturdays, nights, before people either go to the club or they come from the club, they'll come here. Like, maybe somebody get into it, but it wouldn't lead to anybody shooting.
Police say no one died and the extent of injuries are unknown at the time. But Chris Purley says it's sad to see this happen to a business he loves coming to.
It really startled me, and I was so concerned because I'm like, this is my people over here. It could be a relative, somebody I went to school with. Unnecessary violence going on.
Meanwhile, Jefferson County Sheriff's Office set up a tower to keep an eye out on this area starting Monday. Terry says she hopes this city can put a stop to any more crime.
I want to be able to come outside and not be afraid that something may happen.
In Pine Bluff, Alexis Wainwright, back to you.
In addition to the victims, several vehicles, a Citgo gas station, and Wendy's restaurant were also hit with bullets. Again, no one died as a result of this, but the condition and severity of injuries still remains unknown. Little Rock police looking for a couple caught on home surveillance, stealing items from someone's front yard. The homeowner believed the suspects had been casing their home because the thieves struck when they were out of town for the weekend. You can see here a man and woman pulling up in a truck. They walk around the house for a while and then snag a few items, and then they just take off.
He definitely knew there was a camera and he didn't seem to care, but she clearly did, because as she walked across, you could see in the video, She had her hand up like this, and then when she got the gnomes, she took one of the gnomes and covered her face.
Carpenter says the price of her gnomes cannot be valued because they were made by her wife while she was recovering from an operation. According to the police report, the two people fled the scene after a friend house sitting came outside, there's that person right there, to see what was going on. We begin tonight's Crime Tracker report in Scott County, where Arkansas State Troopers are now investigating the death of two people. The Sheriff's Department says it received a call around 1 Monday morning from Dustin Wayne Shores saying he needed help after cutting his foot. Well, when deputies got to the home, they found the bodies of Bobby Slagle and his wife Martha in a bedroom. Shores was eventually arrested. He's being held at the Scott County Jail. Law enforcement in Hot Spring County captured one of their most wanted sex offenders. Authorities say this man, 55-year-old Daniel Graham, attempted to steal an TV from the AT&T store on Martin Luther King Boulevard. When the employee told him the demo TV wouldn't work, he left the building. Police quickly arrived and ordered him to get on the ground. Once he did, he refused to put his hands behind his back and resisted arrest. That's when an officer tased him. Once they identified him, they learned he was wanted for failing to register as a level 2 sex offender. He now faces a number of charges. In Union County, a man is behind bars after resisting arrest and then stealing a deputy's car. According to police, 20-year-old Kyle Schroeder was driving a stolen car this past Tuesday and was being chased by a deputy. He eventually crashed, but when the deputy tried to arrest him, Schroeder overpowered him and then stole his patrol car. As he drove off, the deputy fired his gun, hitting the car. They eventually caught him and placed him under arrest. He's now in the Union County Jail. Tonight's Smug of the Week goes to this man, Sean Jackson Jr. He was booked into the Pulaski County Jail on August 22nd. Charges include driving with a suspended or revoked license, reckless driving, endangering the welfare of a minor, and fleeing. As we leave you, here's a look at Arkansas's most wanted. We want to remind you all of the suspects you've seen tonight are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. Remember, if you have any information on any of these cases we talked about tonight, you're asked to call your local police department. Thanks for watching Arkansas Crime Watch. I'm Kevin Kelly. Be smart, be safe, and if you see something, say something. I'll see you tomorrow night on Fox 16 News at 5:30 and 9.